Welcome to this week's episode of The Countdown. As you can see, we're back in our Manhattan studio with the 5 coolest things happening in space right now. In this episode, the real location of the planet Krypton, a smartphone device straight out of Star Trek, and an alien planet 7 times the size of Earth. But first...
5.
Man of Steel meet Man of Science. Last week, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson helped Superman find his home planet of Krypton, in fiction and in real life. DC Comics approached the real super scientist to pick a solar system capable of housing the planet Krypton. Artists have revised Krypton's history several times since Superman's 1938 introduction, but they generally depict the planet in orbit around a red sun. To match fact with fiction, Tyson selected the red dwarf star LHS 2520 as Krypton's sun, which places the planet in the constellation Corvus, about 27 light-years from Earth. And Tyson also shows up in the comic book world, appearing in Action Comics Superman number 14. When Superman wants to locate Krypton, the fictional version of Tyson, clad in the astrophysicist's snazzy star vest, pitches in to help the Man of Steel find his home planet.
4.
It's been about 3 weeks since Hurricane Sandy hit land, but even though the storm has dissipated, we're still recovering from the damage it inflicted, damage so massive it can be seen from space. Satellites belonging to NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have captured before and after photos that show Sandy's formidable impact. Did anyone ever acknowledge Star Trek for coming up with the iPad? No, I didn't think so. Well, some college and high school students are giving credit where credit's due. Their new device, called a tricorder, serves pretty much the same function as the device from the Star Trek series. It can sense environmental data like temperature, wind speed, and radiation levels, all from a smartphone. A pod containing a bunch of sensors collects the info, which is sent back to the phone using a wireless Bluetooth connection. The students developed their tricorder during a summer internship program run by the Wright Brothers Institute and the Air Force Research Laboratory. They think their tricorder could be used by the military or anyone else needing information about remote or dangerous places. What would you use a smartphone tricorder for? Let us know in the comments.
2.
Preparations for NASA's new space program, called the Space Launch System, are in full swing. But with costs adding up, NASA is looking for ways to trim the budget. Now, this space launch system is going to be powered by rockets, and building rockets is not only expensive, but requires a high level of precision. That's where 3D laser printing comes into play. Selective laser melting, as it's called, creates rocket parts from powdered nickel-based alloys. Using a computer's design directions, the printer welds together thin layers of powdered metal with a laser beam. This not only creates a cost-effective machine part, but can make very complex and intricate pieces easier to manufacture. The program is set to launch in 2017 and will send an unmanned spacecraft to the far side of the moon. The first manned mission is slated for 2021.
1.
Scientists might have discovered a habitable exoplanet about 7 times the mass of Earth, a so-called super-Earth. The exoplanet lives in a solar system with 5 other planets and is about 42 light-years away from Earth. It orbits a sun cooler than ours with the exciting name of HD 40307. The planet was discovered by the High Accuracy Radial Velocity Planet Searcher, or HARPS, which is part of the European Southern Observatory. Astronomers think the planet is habitable because it lies about 90 million kilometers from its sun. At this distance, any water present should stay in liquid form, a requirement for carbon and water-based life forms. However, scientists are only 50% sure it's a rocky planet similar to Earth, and it could, in fact, be a gassy giant like Neptune. Why? Because they can only measure the planet's mass, not its density. And that's your countdown. For links to all of these stories and more, visit scientificamerican.com/thecountdown. The link's in the description below. You can also subscribe to the Space Lab channel or watch another video. For Scientific American, I'm Sophie Bushwick, shooting through space at 30,000 meters per second.